We're going up, up, up to the upper Marae, where stories lift and voices fly. Put your tea towels down, let your worries fade. Open the gates, let the memories cascade. In this podcast world, we give it our best. So grab your cup or come say hi, no jest. We're going up to the upper Marae, where conversations flow and spirits can't lie.
Welcome to the Upper Marae. I'm your host, Sione Finau. And in this podcast, we're talking about money and debt to celebrate Debt Awareness Week. I'm talking with our interdisciplinary expert, Dr. Alexander Stevens II. Alexander, welcome.
Kia ora, kia ora.
How are we feeling?
Good to see you, Horsey.
Oh, yes. Time flies since we last seen each other.
Yes. It's always funny how that works.
Yeah, anyways, it's Money Management Week. No, sorry, Debt Awareness Week.
No, money management is later on in the year. This is Debt Awareness Week.
Oh, yeah. How many financial weeks are there?
That's a good question. I'm going to have to invest some time into, but I don't know.
Anyways, we're going to go and see the first question.
I thought that was a good joke. Fine, ask your question.
It was good, but remember, you're supposed to flow on. Anyways. Which debt should I pay off first?
That's a really good question. So can I just say, I'm not a financial advisor.
Okay, yes.
35 qualifications, I cannot be bothered getting another one in financial advice. However, I have worked in places like the Commission for Financial Capability, which is called the Retirement Commission. Places like Good Shepherd that did microloans. And then obviously as a health professional, especially mental health and addictions, as well as violence, I know all too well the impacts that this conversation of debt has. So I've worked with whānau over a long period of time, and I would always say to you, look, go and seek advice from a financial advisor. However, my advice will also align with sorted.org.nz.
They got a good website.
They really do, which is the flagship that I used to work under. So when you're thinking about which debt I should pay off first, I would say that you should normally focus on the debts with the highest interest rates. So those typically kind of are your credit cards,
right?
Your payday loans, or personal loans with high rates. So, for example, I have a credit card. My credit card is 26.7% per month. I do my best to pay that off by the end of the month, but I know that's the main one, right? So I make sure that I pay that off per month. I'm mindful that some families can't do that, but to answer this question, the reason that you want to aim for paying off those debts with the highest interest is because interest adds up really quickly, and paying them reduces the total interest you pay over time. So the sooner you make a payment, the less interest you'll have to pay, which means that you don't have to have a bigger bill at the end of the month.
Oh, yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah. You've got other things like Afterpay, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know about this because I don't do Afterpay.
Yeah, I've never done it.
Yeah, but what I would say, generally, when we talk about debts, this is where I start thinking about wants and needs. Is it something that you need? Could be medication.
Yeah.
Or is it something that you want, like the latest pair of Nikes?
Right.
So if you need it, then obviously, you use money to be able to get it. Otherwise, if it's a want, then hey, you might actually want to delay until you actually have the money to get it. So anyway, that's probably my thoughts about which debt that you should pay off first.
I think before you should even get into debt, probably upskill as well. Financial literacy is important.
And I acknowledge that you don't know what you don't know. And sometimes bucking the trend can be hard because people will think that, I don't know what the latest words are, Sione, but you could be a try-hard.
Oh, yeah. It's interesting you said bucking the trend. Yes. I think I've never heard of that one before.
Well, no, you've never bucked any trend before, Sione. You are led by inspiration by your elders, a.k.a. myself and Nigel.
Anyways, I think I interrupted you.
Yes, you sure. But what I am saying, though, is that you don't know what you don't know. And so sometimes learning these things can put you put a target on your back.
Right.
But can I say to you, if you're wanting to get ahead, if you want the next generations of, say, your children and your children's children to get ahead, the sooner that you understand the relationship you have with money, the sooner your life will and does change.
Right. Should I use the snowball method or avalanche method?
So let's kind of break that down. What we mean by snowball method is if you can imagine a snowball rolling down a hill. So it starts off small, and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So there's a line of thought, and I mean, either one works, but you've just kind of got to commit to it. You either pay off your smallest debts first, or you pay off the highest interest first, which is your avalanche method. Personally, I'm much more an avalanche person, so I'll pay off the highest interest rate first, like my credit card, because I think you save more money in interest, and that approach is best if your goal is like financial efficiency, i.e. get yourself out of debt. However, I have family members that have got children, so they don't have the ability, they don't have chunks of cash, like I do, to be able to pay off things. So they might pay off their smallest debt first. Then that gives them quick wins and motivation to keep going. And it's a really good psychological encouragement. So, I can give an example. So I got a speeding ticket. It was $30, I think. And then I got a reminder that I had to have my monthly 1NZ account renewed for the month.
Is this like the calling and the texts and that?
Yeah. Then I had a couple of other bills, right? So if I was going to do a snowball method, I'd pay off the $30 fine first, because that's the smallest one. Then I would pay my 1NZ, which is $100 a month.
You pay $100 a month?
Yeah, but that's unlimited calls, texts, and internet. And so when you travel across the country...
Was it okay? If it's worth it?
To me, it's totally worth it. Because if I ever got lost... Put it this way, I never want to be in a position where I had, no data. I'd rather pay $100. And it pays itself, really. Then I would pay off these other bills that would come up. If I was going to use the snowboard method. However, because of the different roles that I have as a contractor, an avalanche method is,
it's possible.
I send invoices off, I get chunks of money, and then I pay it off and go, like I said, like my credit card. If I was going to help pay for a car, for example, then I would use an avalanche method. So you've got these kind of ways, different strokes for different folks. What I say to people is kind of give it a go. If like motivation, encouragement is your thing, then probably snowball method. If yours is like, look, grab this thing by the throat and let it know who's the boss, then sounds very aggressive. I'm sorry.
That is.
That's what happens when you have a Pepsi Max at 10 o'clock at night. Then avalanche method is the way to go.
How much extra money can I put toward debt each month?
Can I just say that, and I often say this, but it is contextual, because people have different circumstances, different income streams. So I guess what I'm saying to you may or may not connect, right? I'm just mindful that, people that are listening to this.
Because you could have kids, Matt, and kids are very expensive.
Well, they are. That's why I don't have them. I look after them briefly and then I give them back to their parents. But generally speaking, to determine this, what you do is you would calculate, say, your monthly income. Then you would look at essential, and that's the key word, essential expenses like rent, food, petrol, as you know, because that's going up.
Gosh.
Transport, utilities like electricity, phone, that kind of thing. Then you look at your minimum debt payments, and then the amount left is your extra debt repayment kind of capability. So that's how I would tend to do that. The other thing, I guess, if I was looking at it from a therapeutic perspective, is there are some people, how we're talking about snowball and avalanche. So avalanche is you pay that off as fast as possible, and snowball is bit by bit. What I would consider then doing is putting, say, $50 to $100 aside to kind of to buy things as and when needed, because sometimes people feel a punitive approach doesn't work and then they disconnect. You know, sometimes you might see something in the shop that you want.
Oh yeah.
You know, and there are some people that really struggle to commit to just paying all those debts off in one go. So what you want to do is you want to stay motivated. So for example, if your income is, say, I don't know, let's average it out, $3,000, you've got, say, $2,200 worth of expenses. Your minimum debt payments will probably be about $300. So extra for debt, it's about, say, $500 per month. So using that extra amount consistently can significantly shorten the time it takes to become debt free. And then the trick is not to repeat those cycles.
Yeah. How often do people, I guess, relapse?
Well, relapse is a good word, brother, because I mean there are elements from it that can make it addictive, but they're learnt behaviour patterns.
Yeah.
And so in essence you're having to learn new behaviour patterns, and new behaviour patterns are only as effective as you actively applying them.
Yeah.
Easier said. You know, good example, and I spoke about this in a previous podcast. You know, in my early 20s, I was used to having zero as my norm. So subconsciously, I would spend all my money until I was back at zero. And then one day, and then as I was heading towards my 30s, I thought, well, actually, this doesn't feel right. So then I made a consistent effort to at least have, I think at that stage, it was a minimum of $1,000 after all those things had come out. Now that's easier said than done, and it took me a while, but then that kind of became my norm. To at least have something in my account, rather than nothing.
Can I negotiate interest rates with lenders?
Yeah, you can. And again, it's kind of contextual, so you can either you or somebody that can advocate on your behalf. I think when I worked at with Good Shepherd, so they do microloans, so they were the ones that would work with people and they might negotiate on their behalf. So in many cases you can negotiate, and lenders sometimes lower rates if, say, you've got a good payment history, your credit score has improved, or you threaten to transfer your balance to another lender. Because obviously they'll want to get their money over time. So from it,
is that what lenders want? Do lenders want other people's?
Yeah, they want them because often they'll have to pay for it, and then there's interest on top and other fees. So then that's how they make their money. So you can call the lender and ask for a lower interest rate, fee waivers, or a temporary hardship plan. But as with everything, T's and C's apply.
Do we have anything on our website that guides people for financial literacy? Like, do we?
No, I think because primarily our work is around sexual violence recovery, there is a page around financial capability, but not in debt. This is where I would say go to places like sorted.org.nz. But what I will do is, when the website is up, so it's been taken down for maintenance at the time of recording, what I'll do is look at having some information to help people.
Right. So our final few questions, which is, can I consolidate my debts to reduce interest? This is an interesting one because I've actually never crossed paths with anyone who would consider consolidating debts. Oh, you come across a lot of people? So I guess, the question first and then experience, or both if you can.
Listen, at one stage of my life, I had 2 credit cards. Oh, I love credit cards. I just love cards.
Right.
Because they accept me. They never decline. They tell me to have a good morning, a good evening.
They never lie to you.
They never lie to me.
Yeah.
And one card from my bank was higher than another loan from another credit card from another bank. So there was a different bank that said it would consolidate all your credit card debt at 0% interest for 12 months.
Okay.
So I was like, this is just a win-win. One, I had to pay 21% interest. The other one was 22.5%. This third bank is saying that they'll take on this debt. You pay 0%, I think, on the proviso that you don't take out cash.
From that account?
Yes. And then you obviously pay it, because that's where they get people. What they didn't count is that I didn't take any cash. I would just pay off the amounts that were agreed to.
Yeah.
And then 12 months later, the bank said, "You've done such a good job, Alexander. We're going to give you an extra $2,000 on top of your..."
Oh, real?
Yes,
Oh.
but don't get too excited, horsey, because
Oh.
I was like, haha, you're trying to trick me.
Oh, it was a trick.
I actually want to cancel my card. And,
Yeah.
And of course, that kind of behaviour, because you know how I was talking about learned behaviour?
Yeah.
Cancelling your card is like spitting in their face.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Why would you do this?"
They gave you a carrot.
"Yes, we've given you a carrot."
Yeah.
I'm like, "What am I, a horse?" "I am a neru." Anyway, and so, and no, and I remember I rang up the bank and I said, no, I'd like to cancel.
Yeah.
And it was the best 6 weeks of my life. And then I rang up the bank again and said, "Actually, I do need a credit card." And what I've realised is, with my credit card, I can definitely live within my means.
Yeah.
So long as I pay off the amount that I take out in one go, an avalanche approach. If I'm like, I'm only going to pay the minimum, that's when I get myself
into trouble.
Yeah. But again, you learn this over time, my friend. Yeah.
Okay. I guess, is there anything else that maybe a young listener or even an old listener around there? Because I think there is definitely a lot to cover.
Yeah.
But other areas,
I guess if I had 3 key messages, and I said this in the previous podcast, it would be this: not all debts are bad. For example, getting a debt to get yourself a car, if that means getting yourself a job, there is good debt. Getting yourself into debt for the latest Nike shoes to show off to your mates, that's bad debt. Right? Yeah. I'm not interested in judging. Great pair of shoes, but hey, if it's going to take you 3 years to...
Yeah, no way.
Yeah, then what's the point? And I guess if I was looking at it from, say, not a financial advisor, but from a counsellor perspective, for those people that are tied into their emotions, be careful. Sometimes when people feel amazing, they'll go on a shopping spree. If people feel sad, they'll go on a shopping spree. Yeah. So if I'm working with people in a counselling setting and finances come up, I will ask them, hey, in what way is emotions tied into your spending habits? Also, don't be embarrassed to reach out for help. I know from experience, having debt over the years, it can be an embarrassing experience. Yet when I have reached out, not for like loans or help, but when I have reached out to let people know, I just it kind of lifts the heaviness. We'll see how this goes by the end of 31st, by the end of tax year,
financial year.
Yeah, but let's see how we go with that one. Anyway, that's probably my advice. That's my advice also.
Yeah. What is the advice of seeking microloans something you'd offer everyone, or just only certain
I think
people?
If you meet the terms and conditions of getting a microloan, so there's Good Shepherd.
Yeah.
That's one. And then there's Ngā Tangata. Like I said before, T's and C's apply. However, if they can pay debts, I can't remember the exact amount, so you have to go online.
Yeah.
There are terms and conditions, but if they can pay for it on your behalf, negotiate to have those interests either reduced or stopped.
Yeah.
This can make a significant difference to not only your well-being, but other people that you live with. So yes, right. I am a big fan of microloans.
Yeah. I guess I gave a money quote on the last one. Do you have anything for this episode?
What was your money quote exactly?
I think I said money doesn't lie.
Money. Oh, yes, you did. Money doesn't lie. I think for me, as I get older, I don't think money doesn't mean a thing.
Money doesn't buy you happiness?
No, we're not going down that little copyright road, Sione. I think money doesn't mean a thing for me. And what I mean by that is money for me is a way to help pay medication, get my nephews and nieces ahead. It's a means to an end.
Yeah.
Right? When I eventually go back home to the heavens, money will have no purpose whatsoever. So I think of it as a thing to get ahead, but I'm mindful that I've made a number of investments to get to where I am.
Yeah.
So I never take it for granted. That's why I think money don't mean a thing.
Alrighty then. That's us for this episode of the Upper Marae. The gates are now closing. Dr. Alexander, thank you.
Thank you, Sione.
And that is us.
Redi ora.